Hello everybody. In today's video I will talk about difference between arranger keyboard and workstation and which one is studio instrument, which one is for another kind of use. So let me start. An arranger keyboard is made for one-man band musician, so he can have all instruments that I needed for one band musician, and he can operate with that instruments using some patterns. On Arranger keyboard, you can find dedicated buttons for intros, for variations, for fills, for breaks, for endings. And you can change tempo of the song. You can play a MIDI file. You can play another audio file without voice, so then you can sing. Or doesn't matter which audio file. You can add some sequences like in pads. With pads, you have dedicated buttons for that. So in Arranger keyboard, you have well mixed, prepared all instruments that will blend together in mix that you can use in performing. Only you as a one-man band, and you can operate with all those sequences at the same time and present yourself with a song or music piece to audience. One-man band musician is very skilled musician. It is serious job. So I'm talking about people who are actually real musicians and who play those instruments. I'm not talking about people who are just putting some MIDI files or something. They press play button and they stand and they pretend that they're playing. So I am playing about real people, real musicians who are players, who are behind the instrument, and they performers. So that is a job that requires a lot of skills. First, talent to be musician, to be able to play. Then music operator or equipment operator who is able at the same time when he plays to operate instrument, to use all those patterns, all those fills, all those variation and everything. And everything is happening in the matter of the time, in the part of the second. So you have to be focused, you have to sing, you have to perform, you have to operate. So it is some kind of multitasking job. So you have to be capable, psychologically capable, mentally capable to do that job. So good. Next time when you see somebody behind instrument who is a real arranger player, think of him as a talented musician, equipment operator who is capable to do by himself alone job to present, to perform something to audience. It is, and he's responsible for everything. He's in charge of everything that he is doing. There's nobody around him that is part of the band that can help him or share all those responsibilities. He's only person who is doing that. Today's arranger keyboards are serious instrument, very expensive, very capable, with good sounds. So you can even perform on real concert with stars, and you can be behind them, you can play, and you can provide music and performance that will satisfy audience. So that is arranger keyboard. Inside of arranger keyboard, as I mentioned, you have sounds that are prepared to sound together in mix on the way that they should sound. They blend very well in mix. So those guitars, rhythm guitars, they blend very well with the snares. Those kicks and bass guitars, they blend very well. Those all kicks or everything is prepared to sounds great. The best job did Yamaha to prepare all those sounds to play to sound to be in a mix together. If we want to present them in a good recording on YouTube video, if we want to use that recording on fast material that we want to do in studio to prepare for advertising materials or short movies, something like that. All those sounds are very well mixed, prepared. When we record on that arranger, they sounds right away excellent on YouTube or social media. That's why it can trick you, because those recordings, they are good recordings, but maybe sometimes in live environment they will not be so good like on another arrangers that are not so very well prepared to sound as a good recorded material. We will talk about that later when I'm going to compare arrangers. So now, what is workstation? Workstation, for example, montage, motive, Chronos, Phantom. I have here a couple of workstations. Whenever I showed here on this side, in my previous video, you saw that I have a motive, I have an Integra 780s workstation, I have Triton. So those workstation, they don't have those buttons, dedicated buttons for patterns. You have sequencer inside. You can prepare some sequences, but they are limited for one-man band user. They are meant to be instrument for keyboard player in a band. First, as I mentioned, they don't have buttons, fills, intros, and those things. Not a lot of things that we are using as a one-man band musicians. And they don't have all those instruments prepared to sound in the mix together on the same way like it is in arranger keyboard. They are like instruments made for one-man band music, for keyboard player in a band. Keyboard player in a band, his sound should be on the same level, rounded, powerful, raw sound like we can hear from real guitar player, real drummer, real bass guitar player. So that guy who is playing that instrument in a band, he must have that sound characteristic, that kind of the sound, not blended, well mixed like in arranger keyboard. There is another thing that is difference between arranger keyboard and workstation. Arranger keyboard doesn't have so powerful sound editing mode like workstation. In workstation, we can go deeper in editing of the sound, especially synthesizers sounds, for example, piano sounds, and all those sounds that organ sounds, all those sounds that are using keyboard players in a band. So that's why it's more usable for keyboard players in a band than arranger keyboard. If you want to be keyboard player in the band, you need workstation. If you want to be a one-man band, you buy arranger. Difference in between arranger and workstation is in price as well. Arranger is much more expensive. Arranger is, for example, this arranger is Korg or Korg or any arranger is around $6,000. Price is between $5,000 and $6,000 Canadian, if we are talking about those prices. I'm here in Canada. But workstation, they are between $3,000 and $4,000. I'm talking about flagships, about Chronos. I'm talking about montage, motive. I'm talking about Phantom. So those are prices. And I'm talking here about PA4, about Catron keyboards, SD90, SD9, SD60. I'm talking about Yamaha Tyros 5 or Yamaha Genus. So that is those comparison. I'm talking about those comparison. Now, when we are talking, I already told you some differences between arranger keyboards. Now, but there's and workstation, arrangers and workstation. But now I will tell you some differences between workstation. When I'm talking here, I have here Yamaha, I have here Catron, and when I'm showing on this position, I mean PA4. I used to have here PA3 and PA4, but I moved it because I put it over there. I have now here controller. I'm using now presently controller here for some things to just do some tests with my Yamaha DX7 and M1 Korg. So that's why I moved PA4, but let us continue. Whenever I am showing here on this side, I mean Korg PA4. Now, what is difference? I told you editing mode, what we can find sound editing mode in those arrangers like Catron and Yamaha. are not the same like in PA4. I have to now talk separately about PA4. PA4 is not only arranger, it is as well workstation. PA4 is done on Triton technology. PA4 has editing mode so powerful and strong like any workstation. That's why there is difference between PA4 and rest of arrangers. That's why very often I tell you on my videos that PA4 is the most usable and only workstation arranger keyboard. And it is true. PA4 is a fully editable sound workstation. In this case, we can use PA4 as a workstation. But what is difference between PA4 as a workstation and other workstation? Difference is in technology. They make PA4 always behind Kronos technology, behind workstation technology. So PA4 is on Triton technology, but we have now M3 technology, then Kronos technology, then Phantom, Kronos, and Montage. They are on different level of technology if we are comparing PA4 in terms of sound in engine. So that's why that arranger PA4 that is as well workstation is behind technology that they are using on current workstation models. But comparing to arrangers, sound is not so prepared well like here, not mixed so well, doesn't blend. It is more behaving, that sound is more behaving like sound that is coming from workstation. So that's why in live environment, PA4 sound, when we are talking about live concert, where we have couple thousand people, big space, this sound from PA4 is cutting much better through the space than it is going to be on those keyboards. For example, Yamaha. Yamaha in smaller space, Tyros or Genos, if we are playing for 200, 3 weddings or some anniversaries or something in restaurants, like background music, cruise on the ship where we cannot be loud, we don't want to kill people, we are just background music, something like that. We can fill that space with good equipments, but it is around the space filled, but not so aggressive, not so present, not so in face. It is around, all around. People used to say wide, thanks to the Yamaha FX processing. So that kind of sound is not that kind of sound that we will find in a Ketron or Korg. I like Yamaha very well in studio because it's mixed, it's prepared sound. But I don't like that sound in live performing. I prefer sound of the Ketron because it is Ketron sound is same feeling of the sound that I'm getting from workstations. I like to hear that sound, raw sound, powerful, massive sound, truthful sound. There is same that I'm going to get from his real instrument on the stage, bass guitar, drums, some ethnic instruments that are real instrument on the stage. That instrument I'm getting from Ketron. That sound. I'm not getting. I'm getting well mixed recorded sound of those instruments on Yamaha. Well mixed and recorded sound, pre-recorded. But from Ketron, I'm getting real stuff, real sound. From Korg, I'm getting real stuff, real sound. That raw sound. That's why I like Korg or Ketron in live performing. But to me now, to use as a musician, after all those experiences, and to me, my ears, to me, the best sound that I like to hear now that will give me motivation is from Ketron, because I like that sound. I don't want to say you that sound is better than Korg sound. I just want to tell you that I like more that sound that I can hear. It will give me more motivation that I'm getting from Korg. That's why I switched from Korg to Ketron, to play Ketron. One more time, I'm not telling that Ketron is better or somebody is better. I'm telling you what I like, what my ears like to hear. Now, which one of those instruments is studio instrument? Just before I go to that question, I will tell you, Ketron has good sound, but editing mode is below Korg level and workstation level. It is about the same level like Yamaha workstation, and I would say a little bit higher level of editing, not only sound, of everything, mixing and getting result on instrument. You will get more from Ketron than you will get from Genos. Easy job, everything on board, mixing on board. So I'm not talking about using software connection, going from software to hardware. I'm telling you about put style there, mix it, work on it on fly. When you are playing, when you are doing actually playing, you can do whatever you want. You cannot do that with those instruments. They are not capable. They keep one chord, and then you have to do something and imagine what is going to happen when you change chords. But here and on Korg, let us forget now about those capabilities, because Korg is king of that. Korg can do everything. So there is little of the things that you have to think and to find something that Korg cannot do. So there is Korg in this field is the most powerful arranger, editing, usability, period. So, but now which one of those instruments is a studio instrument? Many people sometimes they say, oh, that is arranger is not studio instrument, workstation is studio instrument, or workstation is not that, or something like that, or this is studio, this is not studio, this is studio, this is not studio. They are talking like studio instruments is every instrument that has good sound that you want to use, and you take it with yourself and you come to use studio and you connect it and you play and record. So everything is studio instrument. There is no such term that this is studio, or this is studio, this is studio, this is studio instrument. It will give you another result. Depends what you need. But all of them are studio instruments. Now lately, the most popular studio instrument is actually Genos. I have that Genos. Why? Because if I want to make advertising video or some material that I want to do something very fast, earn some money, sell it, product, advertising material, song or something, without spending a lot of time, if I'm on budget, project, I have everything on Genos. I will connect it to Cubase, integrate it in Cubase. There is no any problem with crashes, synchronization, any problem with MIDI mappings, any problem with MIDI configuration. I can even control Cubase with my sliders from Genos. So that is proving me that Genos is the best studio instrument for myself that I can use in studio. And I can get everything, whatever I want to get from Genos, and make all recordings that I need to do. If I need some extra stuff, then I will use my workstation or some other instruments. So that's why for studio use, for myself, Genos. For live performing, for myself, because of sound, because of motivation, because of cutting very well to the space, because of everything that I need, I will use SD90. Or I can go with Korg as well for live performing. But I prefer SD90 in this case because of sound. I like to hear that sound. In my ears are all of those instruments. I play them every day. So I'm not a person who has Korg for years or Quetron for years or something for years, and then he has just that sound in his ears. So I'm somebody who has all of those instruments for years and playing them every day, every single day. So I can very well decide what is the best sound, but on the end as well, this is my opinion. Of course, they are not all the best sounds in Ketron. They are not all the best sounds in any of those. Every of them has some better sounds than other ones. But I'm talking globally, the most of the sounds and all over sound that I'm getting in live performing, I prefer Ketron. And all those ability that I can do on Ketron are fine for me. They are okay, me. If I'm looking for something more, I can add Korg PA4 as a controller, then connect it with Ketron, And chord PA4 and Catron, that is end of the story. That is top of the top. Because we know that Korg is the most powerful arranger workstation and MIDI controller. Korg is more powerful MIDI controller as well. So you can use it as a MIDI controller because you can write codes, save codes, and use those codes and control all those extra another instrument around you with Korg. You cannot do that with other arrangers. You cannot save code. You can write some stuff here. You can choose some stuff, but you cannot actually save it on dedicated button or functionality sliders or whatever. So I will finish this video. After many years of using arrangers keyboards and after many years of using workstation, so and after questions that you asked me about my opinion between what is difference between workstation and arranger keyboard, I made this video to tell you what is my experience, what I think about that, what I can hear about that. Now you can put your comments. On the end of the story, I just want to mention one thing. In this video, I don't want to tell you what is the best, what you should buy. It is up to you. Because you are behind the instrument. You are playing this or this instrument. Whatever sound you like the most, use that instrument. I cannot tell you what sounds better to you. You have to tell yourself. That sounds the better to you, it will give you motivation and you will play. Because on the end of that story, musician behind the instrument who is performing something, he is in the charge of every story, of everything, of every decision, in charge of the sound, in charge of the presentation of the music that he is presenting to audience. So that is the most important thing. What do you like? Put it in front of yourself, play it, enjoy, present yourself, and that's you, and that is the best choice. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great day. Camera is here. I was looking around. This is my screen because I can see myself on the screen. Bye.